They weren't the biggest, and they weren't the meanest. But when they marched through Cortlandt Park in their striped shirts and fedoras, the whole Bronx paid attention. These were the Cortlandt Rangers, soldiers of style, kings of the park.
Now look, what we have here before us.
Every gang has a story, but not every gang lives to tell it. Some rise in the shadows, commanding fear and respect. Others fade into the background, their names whispered only by those who remember the park they once ruled. Tonight, we step into the Bronx, Cortlandt Park, to uncover the legend of the Cortlandt Rangers. Who founded them? Why purple and white? And what ultimately became of the Rangers after the night Cyrus tried to unite them all? The Rangers traced their roots to the early 1970s, when the Bronx was burning, and Cortlandt Park was both a sanctuary and a battlefield. The founder, Pharaoh, a young, charismatic hustler from Kingsbridge, established the crew. Pharaoh's vision was to take the wild energy of the Bronx youth and channel it into order and discipline. Unlike the chaos of other cliques, he wanted a regiment, a force that could hold Cortlandt Park against all comers. The name. The Rangers' name wasn't just a nod to soldiers. It was geographic. Cortlandt Park was their headquarters, and Pharaoh wanted everyone to know who held the grass, the trails, and the bridges. The Rangers patrolled it like a military unit, with Pharaoh calling himself warlord rather than kingpin. Unlike other gangs who relied on sheer intimidation, the Rangers leaned on style and symbolism. Colors, purple and white, were chosen for their contrasts. Purple for royalty, white for discipline. Pharaoh told his men, "We're kings in the park, but our hands stay clean." Uniform. The striped shirts and fedoras gave them a theatrical air. Rumors spread that Pharaoh had once run with street performers and hustlers in Times Square, blending gang warfare with stage presence. The uniform became more than fashion. It was intimidation by precision. Where other gangs wore chaos, the Rangers wore order. Reputation. To outsiders, they looked almost clownish, but the Bronx locals knew better. A Ranger mob moving in perfect stride through the park was enough to send rivals scattering. The Rangers weren't for everyone. Pharaoh demanded more than muscle. He demanded loyalty, precision, and flair. Recruitment. Unlike the Furies or the Turnbulls, the Rangers didn't recruit just anyone. You had to prove yourself in the park. Some were scouted at street ball courts, others pulled in from graffiti crews. Word spread. If you can hold your own in Cortlandt after dark, you might get the invite. Initiation. New recruits had to survive the walk. It wasn't a fight, but a gauntlet. Running from one end of the park trail to the other at night while veteran Rangers flanked them, testing their courage. If you flinched, you were out. If you made it to the stone arches, without breaking stride, you earned your stripes. Leadership. Early lieutenants included Lucifer, Pharaoh's right hand, cold and calculating, and Goliath, a powerhouse soldier who could drop a rival with one swing of a bat. Their biblical code names gave the crew an almost mythic reputation. The Rangers' turf, Cortlandt Park, was valuable. A massive green expanse in the Bronx, it gave them home field advantage, but it also made them a target. Main rival, the Moonrunners, slick in silver and blue, controlled the Pelham train yards. The two gangs clashed constantly. Battles weren't always with fists. Sometimes they fought through style wars, graffiti battles, boogie down dance-offs, and showdowns in the park that mixed music, rhythm, and violence. Notable event. On April 13th, 1979, the Rangers beat the Moonrunners in the Boogie Down contest. The DJ immortalized it on gang radio, cementing their reputation as more than fighters. They were performers too. alliances. Though the Rangers never had the numbers of the Turnbulls or the muscle of the Furies, their discipline earned respect. They maintained neutral ground with the Riffs. Cyrus himself used Cortlandt Park as the site for his great conclave, a sign of respect and trust. By summer 1979, the Rangers were at their peak. 9 delegates attended Cyrus's legendary conclave in Cortlandt Park. Pharaoh stood tall, striped shirt crisp, fedora tilted like a general presenting his troops. At the meeting, they stood close to the Moonrunners, symbolic, almost theatrical, as Cyrus called for unity. For a moment, rivals became brothers. But then the shot rang out. Cyrus fell. The park erupted. Aftermath. Rumors spread that the Rangers tried to restore order, standing their ground as chaos erupted. Others said they vanished into the night, unwilling to risk being pinned with the murder. Either way, the Rangers' reputation as disciplined soldiers of the Bronx was solidified. After the conclave, the Rangers' future grew uncertain. The fade. Their battles with the Moonrunners drained them. The Turnbull ACs gained ground in Pelham, while bigger gangs like the Riffs swallowed smaller ones. Pharaoh's discipline couldn't stop the tide. Some say the Rangers slowly dissolved, their members absorbed into the Riffs. Others claim Pharaoh disappeared, leaving his men leaderless. Legacy. The Rangers are remembered as stylish soldiers, not the most feared, not the most brutal, but among the most distinct. In their striped shirts and fedoras, they blurred the line between performance and power, standing as a symbol of Bronx pride in an era when the streets were a stage. The Cortlandt Rangers may have faded into legend, but their mark on Bronx gang history lives on. Were they truly disciplined soldiers, or just performers in the street theater of the 1970s? Let us know what you think in the comments. And if you're digging this dive into the Warriors universe, hit that like button, subscribe to Real Reels, and ring that bell, because the next origin story is already on the way. Can you dig it?